Hey, what is up everyone, and welcome to my first YouTube video. In this video I will be explaining the basic concept of far post rotations and how to properly rotate near post if forced. I'm also going to talk about both offense and defensive positioning, both as an attacker and supporting player. And lastly, I'll explain some other common errors I've seen in most gameplay. Also, a quick side note, these points will be based on doubles gameplay. Okay, so on the field we have our first example. So let's say you come up and you 50 with the opponent and it leaves you boostless back here in their half. And they're dribbling back up the field and you got to get back on defense really quickly. So first I would say if you land right, I would not go for that boost over there. Do not go for that boost. I would take this boost pad, flip, and rotate straight back to net behind your teammate, who will be somewhere up there about to challenge the ball. This is important because when we're rotating far posts, we're not only dodging our teammate on our way back, we're also getting ready for him in case he loses this challenge. Right. So if this, gets hit in the air, we're in the perfect position, right, to go up for it quick, or we're in the perfect position to come up and get a quick 50, or straight up hit on the ball closer to their net. Okay, so if we see this again, this example again, so I'm going up without 50 boost, I lose this challenge, I'm stuck here with the round 40. Now for the sake of the example, I've landed like this. I'm not gonna go for that boost. I'm going to come around, use my boost to get back, and I'm gonna take a turn in net. I'll explain later why that is really important. And so now I'm ready to challenge this ball wherever it goes. However, when you are coming out from your rotation, maybe wide, for the sake of this example, I went in the net to simulate, a challenge being lost horribly. But it all depends on how badly the challenge is lost, if it is lost. So maybe, challenge is lost, I don't know, here, and you're still rotating back. Now, the attacker is going to be hot on it, so I got to rotate farther into my net to come and grab this. Maybe it's a bit slower and the attacker isn't that far out, or he's pretty far out, so now I can turn in quicker and get to this before him, and I can hit it, I can clear it out quicker than him. Alright, so I have a real game scenario because I went in and I found a replay of almost the exact same scenario as I did in the example in the clip before. So here it is. So off the wall I took a pretty bad touch, but I managed to get this boost. So he goes up for an air dribble and my teammate up there is starting to challenge. So right now I'm rotating behind him far post, which would be right to the left of me. So I take that touch, so I turn in, and now I am ready to go for this as soon as he loses his challenge. I'm ready to go for this because I rotated and I took a perfect turn around. Now I didn't go far back to net because I knew if I went back that far I wouldn't make this, because I noticed this guy was already up for it. Now if I had turned earlier, let's see what would have happened. So if I would have turned in maybe at the midfield line, so maybe if I turned in along this line, right, which would be almost near post rotation, right, if I had turned in here. Now, I would have been about here by the time this challenge is lost. And so now I'm directly under the ball. Disregard this. I'm directly under the ball. So now I have to make a sharp turn and get up to this with this guy already jumping. And I would still most likely be turning. However, with the turn that I made, I went back to here. I grabbed this boost pad and this and this. And now I'm already up for it. We're about the same height, but I know that I'm quick to this by knowing the player. And so that perfectly sets up for a goal because his teammate was also recovering. He was pretty fast about it, but he was also recovering from his challenge that he made with my teammate. And now this guy is left back here with nothing he can do. And then we score. So one thing I forgot to mention in the intro is I was going to include some of, cutting rotation. First man, second man, third man. Concept about that. Just getting to know what it is and, how to know not to cut off your teammate and other stuff like that. Let's get into it. One thing I would like to point out is that these are all going to be me in these error clips. Okay, so I've just found a blaring mistake in one of my replays. So, what I do here is I cut in here. So, right, let me show you the play before. So, I do a really scuffed air dribble, and it gets hit back to our side. I'm forced to make a recovery with a low boost, and I cut in. This is not a good move at all. Not a good move. Because I could interfere with the play here in a negative way. I could either fake out my teammate who's over there, and I can, mess him up by just being there, could mess him up. Now, I'm not sure, since this was a long time ago, I'm not too sure if I had the intention of going for the ball here. I ended up going for the boost, which I miss. So, I'm pretty sure I had the intention of trying to get a touch on the ball, which is cut and rotation, basically. Which is something you shouldn't do in a game, typically. And then we actually get scored on here. I think. Okay, so here we have an example of an overcommit. So right here, so I get the ball out to the middle there. Then I'm waiting upfield for a pass, but that's an overcommit right there. I should not be going for this ball. Instead, I should just be rotating behind him to receive this shot here. Because this was not a very hard shot. I could have easily saved this if I had just grabbed these boost pads and come along back to here. Okay, so I've just found a blaring mistake in one of my replays. So, what I do here is I cut in here. So, right, let me show you the play before. So, I do a really scuffed air dribble, and it gets hit back to our side. I'm forced to make a recovery with a low boost, and I cut in. This is not a good move at all. Not a good move. Because I could interfere with the play here in a negative way. I could either fake out my teammate who's over there, and I can, mess him up by just being there, could mess him up. Now, I'm not sure, since this was a long time ago, I'm not too sure if I had the intention of going for the ball here. I ended up going for the boost, which I miss. So, I'm pretty sure I had the intention of trying to get a touch on the ball, which is cut and rotation, basically. Which is something you shouldn't do. Okay, so back on the field now, we have our first example of positioning on the attacking side. So, what we have here is we have our teammate who's dribbling up the side of the field over here, and he's probably going a bit like this, so he's planning to cut in. So what we want to do here is we want to be like around here, depending on where the defenders are. If they're ready for this ball, I would suggest staying a little bit back here, so an even faster recovery. But if they're, kind of flailing, they're not really back yet or established, I would be a bit closer to the ball, or not closer to the ball, but rather closer to the net, in the sense that you can always be, around here. The tip I have for, backboard passes from our teammate is that they're probably going to go up, so they're either going to hit it down or they're going to hit it out. So I'd probably stay a little bit back here, so you can easily jump for this if you can. Again, if the defenders are established and they're already going up for it, I would immediately turn around and wait for this ball. That's probably coming around here, if they get a good clear. For lower levels, you probably won't need to worry much about, backboard clears and powerful clears. So I'd still be careful of it though, just because, if you're pushed up too far, they can easily just hit it over you and score off it. Okay, so over to defensive positioning. Just gonna lead the ball. Okay, so now to defensive positioning. So we talked about far post rotations in the sense in going around the goal. But let's say we place the ball over by this boost pad. Now I'm rotating back and my teammate is about to challenge. That's our scenario. So I'm in here, and usually what I do is I go inside the near post. So in the near post, you're pretty invulnerable to demos. Usually if the defender, is somewhere over here, just easily get a dodge, to the wall or, to the side. They're not gonna really find you by taking a tight turn around this post here. And also this sets you up for, you can see the ball with the transparent goal post. You can jump for this, right, out of the goal. And you can also take a quick turn to the right if you need to follow it out of net. You see that? You can take a turn, really quick to the ball. Or, if the ball gets hit over, we're easily there to, come out for this, right? Now, if your second man coming in behind the first man that's in the near post, I'd suggest maybe hang back a bit here. Just go a tiny bit slower coming in, and then jumping for this ball when your teammate is going for it. Now, when your teammate is near post like that, when the first man is near post, usually what happens is your second man isn't going to be back yet. So this player is usually alone. And so what I just explained before that was kind of rare case that someone is going to be back while you're near post, especially in twos. So as second man, you're gonna be rotating back here, right? And your teammate is probably already gone, so now you can come around here. Again, this is important that you take it inside the goal if you have pressure on you. So you get your turn and then you can immediately go for the ball. There's your defensive positioning. So in one of my replays, I found myself putting myself into the position of the near post. Right there, see, I positioned myself to where I can, you know, I'm hid from this guy who could demo. This guy's out here. I can turn this way easily as I made that wide turn. And I can also just go straight out to here, which I don't end up doing because I see this guy is out. Now, I take an awkward turn here, but that could have easily been avoided, you know, if I had just drifted along here and then hit it out. But I end up saving it, which is the good part. So, okay guys, this is the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. Please make sure. So I have a real game scenario because I went in and I found a replay
structured. So
of
if you
almost
do
the
have any
exact
comments,
same
please
scenario
put them down in the
as I
comment
did
section
in
and
the
I will
example
answer them.
in the
I
clip
will.
before.
Don't worry.
So
And
here it
for the
is.
next 5 minutes of this
So,
video or so, I will have just some Grand Champ gameplay.
Off the wall, I took
at the
a
end
pretty
so
bad
you can just
touch,
see,
but I managed
know,
to get this boost
in real time.
So he goes up for an
where
air
you
dribble,
should
and
be,
my
or,
teammate,
you know, get a good idea
there
where you should be on the
is
field,
starting
in
to
relation
challenge
to your teammate.
So right
to
now
your
I'm
opponents,
rotating behind
other
him,
stuff like that. So
far
enjoy
post,
for staying, and
which
see you
would be
later.
right to the
Thanks for
left.
watching. Me. Okay, so in this game I'm just gonna try and tell you my thought process throughout. Mates there. That's right. I'm gonna follow this. Doesn't. Sad that I missed that boot, so that would have helped. Rotate back. Just try and stay here for my big challenge. They both went. Oh, demoed. It's tough. Oof. Yikes. Yeah, there I can't do too much. He was chasing me throughout the whole field, and my teammate wasn't back in time. Or he was. He just got ramped up on the post. It's okay, we got this. Just be right here. He's gonna try and 50. And rotate behind my teammate. He should be going. You can follow. Try and stay back here. That's not be going for that. That's my bad. Then again, I didn't really know if my teammate was going to be there or not, so I just decided to go up for it. Sadly, I missed that shot, which didn't good. Make it, you know. I'll rotate here. Mate should be going for this. I'm gonna kind of lurk right here with this and get a touch up away from everybody. Got a good 50. Hopefully we can demo. Hopefully he touches this, yeah. Touches it me. Get a semi good touch. Get a flick. Yep, there we go. Score. Alright, cool. That bump was pretty good. My teammate rotated near post, but I guess it's okay since he got the bump on him, which kept the opponents from coming and meeting me on the wall, which allowed me to make a play. I'm gonna rotate out here. Always just come back. Kind of low here, so I'm gonna kind of stall for my teammate to get back. Go for this. I should not have gone. It's overcommit. It's okay because they're slow. He hits this middle. Can't go for this 2 in net. Be extremely risky to go for. First, I gotta rotate back now. Go inside the net since they have a pretty established offense. Bingo. So I'll let my teammate go for that since he's got a clear shot. This over to him.
Oh, it's okay. Been nice if you had scored it. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna kind of hit this corner. Keep it away from them. I'll follow this since my teammate isn't going for the ball at the moment. And, ooh, almost. I'll rotate behind him here. I can be ready for this shot here. Now I'm in position to perfectly go out for it. Get a double jump. We should be able to score this. Oops. Ah. Thought I had more boost than I actually did there. Hopefully he hits it over to me. This is usually a really weird move to go for when you're waiting over there when your teammate clears it. It's just always pretty awkward, and I wouldn't suggest staying there. But it's fine. Only because if your teammate decides to follow it, especially if you don't have comms with your teammate, it's going to be tough to communicate, you know, hey, I'm waiting for a pass, or I'm gonna follow this up, or something like that. Backboard clear. Clear out to the side. Never in the middle, because they could always come back out. It's important to also get a clear, you know, farther up the side instead of hitting it straight at the wall, or else it's just gonna be a straight center. So here, I guess I can show you what I mean. Or I'll just score quick. There we go. But yeah, there, my teammate, he hung back there. He was in a perfect position for a pass. That was good positioning on him. Just being there is good. Keeping pressure up is good. Always. It's always important, especially in higher levels. It's important to keep the pressure up by moving, you know, forward with each touch you take or advance. You gotta, you know, inch up the field a bit to, you know, show that, hey, I'm here, I am pressuring you to make a play or something like that. Double commit, but it's okay. And we take the win. Thanks again for watching. See you later.
It's not for me to say.